back to the YouTube channel at Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my round 10 Magic Round tips for 2022. Far out, Magic Round's already here. It's a shame I'm not going this year because I'd love to go to Magic Round this year. It's obviously a very great experience and a great weekend of football, having all the games, all 8 games at one stadium, at Suncorp Stadium, which is where it would obviously be played at. So, look, I wish I was there, but, it'd be fun watching the weekend go underway, because Magic Round's a great round and I am definitely looking forward to it. So, last week, in my tips, I got 7 out of 8. That's the best I've got all year. So, obviously, if I got 7 out of 8 in round 9, I want to try and get 8 out of 8 this week in round 10, but it's much harder because some games can go either way. There's about 4 or 5 games, I reckon, that can go either way, personally. So, but yeah, no, it should be a good round of football. I'm really looking forward to it. So, just want to say before I start, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Currently 1,900 subscribers I'm at right now. I hit that goal the other day. I think on Monday, I got that goal yesterday. So, look, thank you for the new support. It means a lot. It's just great to see that the channel's going in a good phase. It keeps on growing. And I appreciate, I appreciate the new support. I appreciate the feedback I get in my videos now about, people enjoying my content, because that means a lot to myself and the channel. So, I want to thank you for that if you know who you are. And, looking to get to 2K very soon, hopefully. I know that's a little bit of a while away, but, only 100 subs away from 2K. So, hopefully I can get there in a good amount of time. So, but that's all I have to say. Time to get into my round 10 tips. So, the first game on the Friday is the Bulldogs and the Knights. So, looking at both sides, the Bulldogs side only have one change, and that's Christmas Hollow comes on the bench for Ava Samani Fagai, while Ravens Mariner, I don't know if he'll play, but he's on the extended bench, so he returns, gets close to a return to the field. As for Newcastle, Mitch Barnett and Adam Quinn are both back for the team, and obviously Barnett's back from his suspension. Quinn's been back from an knee injury, and that means Phineas Crossan goes to the bench. Swasa Sue has been included in reserves after missing last week due to a head knock. Edric Lee will have to pass his protocols in order to pass his head knock. And Frizzell, Gagai are both still out, but are on the extended bench, I'm pretty sure, as well. So they're an outside chance. In this game, though, I think the Bulldogs will win. I know that they were pretty poor against Canberra. They couldn't score any points, but I just think, looking at how Newcastle have been, they look a lot worse than what Canberra have been, in my opinion. And because it's at neutral territory, it's at Suncorp, and obviously, it's Magic Round, anything can happen, in my opinion. So I think the Dogs will, they'll want to get a win to take pressure off Barrett, and would want to win for many other reasons too. So I think they'll win by about 6 points, and any time try scorer for the Bulldogs will be Addo-Carr, and for the Knights, I think I like Dominic Young for a try. Now, on to the main game on the Friday. It is the Seagulls and the Broncos. My team are up against Brisbane. Very big game. Broncos are in good form compared to the last time we played 1 year ago, because last year we played the Magic Round, won 50 points to 6, which was a good win, but I can't see it being the same result this time. I think this time will be a lot more closer. Brisbane have improved in many ways, whereas for Manly, been a little bit off the pace this year, I guess, in some way, but have been still pretty competitive as well for this year. So it will be a very good game, I reckon. There's a couple of key matchups for mine as well. Reynolds versus Cherry Evans, Stags and Cooler, I'm pretty sure will be on the same side. So that's going to be a very good battle, So I'm looking forward to seeing how this game pans out. It should be a good one, but hopefully it's a result for my boys. All right, looking at Manly's team, Ola Kawase is back from suspension, so that's good to see. He's back from, getting a late withdrawal from illness. Ben Trbojevic and Ethan Bullimore keep their spots on the side, so Bullimore starts in the back row with Schuster on the reserves. It could be a late inclusion, and Trbojevic keeps his spot over Harper in the centres, which I like. Davies on the bench, which is good to see him back, and Dodulus drops out. As for the Broncos, Payne Haas shoulder and Kirk Capel-Neck are both back for the Broncos, so that's a big win for them. Carrigan moves to lock, and Cody Hetherington to the bench, and Rabati drops back to the reserves, and Ryan James and Jake Turpin are among those alongside Rabati on the extended bench. Well, I just realised something. This is actually a Manly home game, so that'll piss a couple of Brisbane fans off, because Manly have taken a couple of games against Brisbane, at Brisbane being the home ground of Manly, like a home game for them. So it's a little bit strange, that one, but it is our home game. But who am I going to tip? I think Manly will get the win here. I think the boys will be a little bit too strong. It'll be a very tight game, but I think Manly should be a bit too good, like I said. I think they'll be the side to just get the edge over here over Broncos. I think they'll win by about 10 points. My anytime try scorers will be Ola Kawati in his return, and I think Brisbane Stags will score anytime too. On to the first game on the Saturday. It is the Warriors and the Rabbitohs kicking off the Super Saturday of Rugby League, or full Magic Round Rugby League. Don't know what I was trying to say there, but yeah, Warriors, Rabbitohs. Looking at both sides, the Warriors are back with Tohu Harris. That's a very big unit actually. Tohu Harris, the skipper's back from a knee reconstruction, so I guess that will help the side a lot with his return. Montoya's back as well from his suspension, which pushes Adam Pompey to the centres and Rocco Berry to the reserves. And Ronald Volkman and Freddie Larsik, who are the new signings for the Warriors, are on the extended bench. As for Rabbitohs, they've got a couple of changes actually south. So Cody Walker will captain the side because Cameron Murray's out with a neck injury, which I'm sure we're aware of. So that's going to hurt Souths a lot. So that means Jai Arrow starts at lock. Jacob Host returns from a shoulder injury in the back row. Tom Burgess returns and he starts in the front row. So Davey Miley goes to the bench. Jackson Puller has been promoted to the starting side at the centre after coming off the bench last week. Isaiah Tuss drops out, which I don't like actually. And Kane Nikorima, who actually played for the Warriors before, will make his club debut against the Warriors. So that's crazy. I'm telling you, that's pretty crazy. So that'll be interesting to see when he comes on and how he goes against the side he played for a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, for this game, I think Souths will be a bit too strong. I know they're missing Latrell Murray still. And I know Warriors get Tohu Harris back, but I think the Rabbitohs will be a bit too strong. I think Cody Walker will step up this week, being the captain. I think he knows that he has to have a bit of a bigger role to play, so I think he'll have a good game, and I think the Souths will win by about 14 points. Anytime try scorers, I will back in Walker for anytime try scorer, and for the Warriors, I reckon Walsh. Now on to the very next game. It is the Titans and the Dragons right after the previous game, Warriors and the Rabbitohs. So this will be another tough game to pick, in my opinion. But looking at the Gold Coast Titans team, Jane Campbell has been named at fullback from his first game since round 3. So that means AJ Brimson shifts to 5'8" and Will Smith drops out. Philip Sammy returns from an knee injury and comes on the wing, while Jamal Sarkis on the other wing with Corey Thompson and Greg Marzi dropping out. And Easton Masters returns in the centres for Patrick Herbert, who drops out. And Kevin Proctor has been dropped to reserves, so that means Lee goes from prop to second row. Jarrah Wallace is the new face in the front row. And Jamin Jolliffe has been listed among the reserves as he works his way back from a calf injury. So that's the changes there for the Titans and the team. As for the Dragons, they've stuck with the same 17, so there's no changes there. Alright, this is actually a pretty tough game to pick because this can go either way. Yeah, I really don't know where to go here, but I'll tell you what, I think this week I'm going to tip the Titans to win. I think, they have been in pretty bad form with the Gold Coast Titans, but I believe this week they'll turn up and get a win. Have to win eventually because I think that, the pressure's mounting on Justin Holbrook. So I believe Gold Coast will win this week actually. I think they'll actually turn up with a bit of a surprise and will play well against Dragons. So I reckon Gold Coast by 4 points, and anytime try scorer will be Brimson. And for the Dragons, I believe I like Ravalawa for a try as well. Now, it is the big one. It could be the game of the round. It's a very big game. It's a game that has been anticipated for a couple of weeks now, ever since we've known that these two sides will be playing a Magic Round. It is the benchmark clubs so far in 2022. The Storm and the Panthers taking on each other for the last game of Super Saturday. So looking forward to this one, really I am. Going for the Storm team quickly. So Nick Meaney goes from wing to fullback in the absence of Ryan Pappenhausen, who's out for 6 weeks, as we know of, with a hamstring injury, which will really hurt the Storm. So Dean Aaron comes on one wing, and Remus Smith's out with a pectoral injury, so he'll miss a long time too. Which means Marion Seve comes in the centres, and I haven't seen in a while, will come in the centres, and Kenny Bromwich has been named to play despite suffering a head knock against the Dragons. And as for the Panthers, bench forward Scott Sorensen returns from an injury after missing the Eels game. From illness. That's why he missed the Eels game, not because of injury. So that means Matt Eisenschiff goes back to reserves. For this game, look, it's a very tough one because this can go either way. I can literally tip the Panthers, I can tip Storm, but I just think because Pappenhausen's out, I think because Panthers is a bit more settled with their side, I think Penrith will be a little bit too strong. So I'm going to go the Panthers by about 6 points. I feel like, Panthers just, like I said, a bit more settled with their squad, a bit more settled with their team, and not missing as many players with Stormer, so they should win. So I'll go Penrith by 6, like I said. Anytime try scorers. For Melbourne, I've got Coates, and for Panthers, I've actually got Liam Martin for a try. Moving on to Sunday now, it is the first game of 3. The Sharks and the Raiders kick off at 1:50 p.m. So nice early start to the afternoon, around lunchtime. This game plays, so that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, no, look, this will be a pretty good game as well, I think. Obviously both sides played back in round 1 and Raiders won. So can the Sharks get one back over them, a little bit of revenge, or will the Raiders who continue that win streak over Cronulla? Looking at the Sharks team though, Nicho Hynes has been able to play at fullback with Will Kennedy being suspended. So that means with Hynes at fullback, Trindle goes to halfback. Corin Tracy moves into the centres, replacing Ramey, who's also suspended. McInnes has been named on the bench after starting at lock last week, with Finucane going to the Jersey 13 role now. And Royce Hunt has been added to the bench, and Fafita drops out to reserves. As for the Raiders, Sebastian Chris moves from the bench to the starting side to replace Croker in the centres with a shoulder injury, and Xavier Savage joins the bench as well for Canberra. My tip for this game, look, it's pretty easy, I think, but I wouldn't be surprised if Canberra can turn up, maybe cause an upset, but I do think the Sharks will be a bit too strong. They should win. After last week and the weeks before that, they've shown me that they're a real top side this year and are ready to contend for a premiership, in my opinion. So Sharks win by about 16 points, and my anytime try scorers will be Hynes, and I reckon also Nick Cora will score, and for the Raiders, I reckon Rapana will score. On to another blockbuster game, actually, and it's a very tough one to tip as well. It is the Roosters and the Eels taking on each other in the second last game of Magic Round. So looking at both sides, Roosters have Sam Verrills and Lindsay Collins both unavailable. Sam Verrills has injured his collarbone, and we've kind of Watson actually returning to the side now, so he returns from a throat injury to replace Verrills, a hooker. Takayaho has been promoted to the starting side, with Collins obviously being suspended, and that means Daniel Saluka Fafita is a new man on the bench, and Adam Kieran with an ankle is included in reserve, so he could be making a return very soon as well. As for the Eels, they've got no changes. Brad Arthur's sticks solid the same side, so yeah, there's no changes really there. But for this game, it's a tough one because I wasn't really confident in the Roosters, heading into the Titans game. But after how they played in that game, and they look a lot more better. They look like they found their groove again. But as for Parramatta, they look a lot stronger, and I think they've been a bit more consistent at the start of the year. So that's why I'll probably base my tip off the consistency of Parramatta. So I'll tip Eels to win by, by 6. I think 6 points, maybe like a 26-20 scoreline. Might be a bit of a high scoring game, or a 16 or a 20 points to 14 scoreline, So I think Parramatta will be a bit too good, and my in-time try scorers for them will be Gutherson and Perham. And for the Roosters, I think Tedesco's going to get a try as well. And now rounding up Magic Round for 2022 last game, it is the Tigers and the Cowboys, a game where it is very, very tough to pick as well, because, Tigers been in better form than they have been the past opening 5 weeks of the season. But, they've found a bit of form. As the Cowboys, been probably one of the most surprising teams of this year, if not the most surprising team in 2022 so far, being a surprise packet for me. So they've done really well this year, the Cowboys. So looking at the Tigers team to start off with, though, only one change by Madge. So that is Luciano Leilua starts for the Tigers in the side, which means Seyfarth will go back to the bench, with McCarley with a head knock moving to the reserves. Mamala has been named despite failing his HIA last week, so I guess with the long turnaround, it's going to help him probably still play. As for the Cowboys, Todd Payne's named an unchanged lineup as well. Tom Gilbert's been cleared to play despite escaping a $1,800 fine, so he's bloody lucky there. And Hamisa will come off again off the bench, which is interesting. But for this game, it is a danger game for the Cowboys. I will say that it is a danger game, but I still think they'll be a bit too good on the Sunday, and I think they'll win by about 18 points. I'm pretty confident they'll win by 13 plus, and I think anytime try scorers will be Hamisa from the bench. Nanai will score, and Townsend will score as well, I reckon. And for the Tigers, I believe Toa And maybe if he plays, I reckon Maumalo will score too. But everyone, that's my round 10 Magic Round tips for 2022. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. But anyway, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.